Alright, so we're overdue for a Puppet Master installment. Basically, I don't even know why I'm going to put Watch Me Watch in the title here, because basically at this point, the only difference between a regular video of mine and the Watch Me Watch ones is that there's no lights on in the Watch Me Watch one. That's like the only difference now. Is just This is just me blind watching movies, and then my regular videos are ones I've seen before and rewatching them. That's the only difference. So, whatever, let's go with it. So, we're up to Retro Puppet Master from 1999. Now, like I said in previous videos, I haven't seen past like the third movie in this franchise until watching them as I've been going along. Excuse me. And I'm really hoping, but I kind of can guess already that they're going back in time here to World War II and all that stupidity that I really don't care for in this series. But the puppets look cool. I had like one or two of the retro Puppet Master figurines, like with all my other little Puppet Master ones, so I don't know what happened to them. But I do know that they look cool. So let's watch Retro Puppet Master from 1999, directed by the same dude who's directed like four of these and never uses his real name. Always uses some fake name. I think he even used like a woman's name on the last movie. Like, this guy just doesn't want his name attached to the series in any way. So let's get into Retro Puppet Master. Now, I don't know what this says about me or the franchise, but at this point, my favorite part about watching these movies is hearing the opening theme music. Like, I get psyched. I hear the opening music, awesome. Then like the enjoyment factor just plummets after that, and we didn't even hear it at the very opening here. So maybe it'll be like the last few movies that we'll get it during the credits. If we don't get the music, then I'll be very upset because then the enjoyment level starts here, and we just have up or down to go. Which we're at like what, like the seventh film here. Don't have too high hopes for this. Now, it's been weeks, a few weeks, since I did the last Puppet Master movie. Curse of the Puppet Master? Is that it? Maybe. The sixth one with the human experiment and all that shit. So it's been a few weeks. So if you expect me to remember anything that's going on in this story, then you just discovered this channel. Does Toulon ever age? Because he seems like an old fuck in every single one of the movies he's in this. Like, did he use the serum on himself? But that just brings inanimate like objects to life. He's already a living being. So unless that's some shit they're gonna dive into in the next 15 movies or wherever's left in this series, he never ages. Or he gets younger or older, like he just always looks like the old ass man that he is. So we finally did it, guys. Puppet Master, we're headed to Cairo, Egypt. So we're gonna finally get some backstory on how he found this whole spell that brings the puppets to life. But man, the stock photos that they use of the pyramids to show that we're in Egypt are the shittiest stock images ever. Like, it looks so bad, like really bad. I'm not even sure this is Andre Toulon. Now that I'm thinking about it, I mean, they never said his name. It could just be some old dude, because then when they showed the whole clip back to Cairo, Egypt, there was like this sorcerer, or no, he's like a sorcerer, and they're calling him a sorcerer, and there's like two guys that are trying to stop him by the power of Sutek, which we've heard that name before. If you expect me to remember when or what or why, you're out of luck. But I think it was in like 4 or 5, like the demon, like when they had the demonic totem ones. I got like a bug in my throat. I hope I'm not getting sick. I'm gonna blame all of you. And he's like has like sorcerer powers. So I don't even know if that's Andre Toulon, but we'll find out. So Sutek apparently raises like 3 mummies from the dead who happen to speak English for some reason, and tells them to disguise themselves and go out and kill the guy who took the secret of life, and anybody who he might tell that secret to, they all have to die too. So we got mummies in this one, man. Are you psyched? I'm fucking psyched. You see this face? This is the face of someone who's pissed off that we don't have the great Puppet Master theme song in here. We're at the credits. We got some cool. See, I can't even talk. That's how mad I am. We have some cool credits with like the retro puppets and everything that look like they're just freshly carved out of wood. No Puppet Master theme. I'm very pissed off. We do get a Cyclops for the first time in this movie. I mean, he looks like a Cyclops. I'm only guessing that's his name. but it would seem pretty suitable for him. But that's the first movie that in this series that we finally see him in. So awesome, Cyclops. Speaking of Cyclops, I don't know what his special power is or ability that he has. Can he just like stare with that one eye like super hard and like do something? Like, I don't know, but we'll find out, hopefully. Now, what would have been awesome, and yeah, we're still on the credits, is if this movie came out 20 years later, like in 2019, and it was called Retro Puppet Master, just like it is here. They could have used the Puppet Master theme, but retro, like NES, Sega Genesis type, like music, and just like make the theme song out of like whatever they use the MIDI controls to make the music for the Sega Genesis and NES and SNES back in the day. Here it doesn't really work because it's 1999, so that was only like a few years off. Like after those things, they weren't retro at that point. But there's a missed opportunity. Could have had a retro Puppet Master theme. You can only wish. This girl, this other girl. I know that's not very descriptive. We didn't get names yet. But Mademoiselle, this guy just called her. When Mademoiselle is talking to this other girl, this girl actress looks like she's about to bawl and just bust into tears like at any moment. Like, I don't know why she looks so upset. And she says to Mademoiselle, says, don't go into any of the opium dens. Opium dens. See what I did there? I took the M and the N, I switched that shit around. Then I had to fix it, switch it back. That's what you got to do when you make up words here on the channel. But that sounds like advice I would not adhere to. Like if I was in a country that had an opium den, I'm checking one out. Speaking of not knowing the names, don't you hate that in movies when they don't tell you like the main character's name, but then you hear fucking Vigo is some ancillary character that we haven't even met yet, and who knows how big of a role he's going to play in this movie. We get that name like right up front, but then I still don't know what the main girl's name is. So I don't know. It's a pet peeve of mine in movies like this. All right, so we got a young Andre Toulon here. Like he looks like maybe in his 30s, if that. So this is going way back into the story of Toulon and how he starts with his puppet show. So this could be interesting. It could be a dumpster fire. So let's find out together, shall we? First of all, if you think you're going to drop me into like a prequel to like the story thus far in 6 films that we've seen and expect me to know what half of these puppets are called, you're insane. And second of all, I would absolutely get my money refunded for this puppet show. Because it is not well acted. The voice acting's terrible. I would want my money back immediately after watching this puppet show. Alright, I had to like smash myself in the face with a controller just to make sure it wasn't me. But like, the mummies, now they're disguised, but they look so obviously not human. Like they have like scars on their face and they talk in a demonic way. Like this is the best disguise that these mummies can come up with. And then they all repeat the same line. I thought I was going insane for a second. It's like one mummy says a line, the next one, the next one. And then they're giving money to these 2 guys to follow Toulon around. And then those 2 guys are repeating the line. So if this movie is going to be a whole bunch of repeating the same lines for 3 mummies, there's only like a 25-minute film here. Like, seriously. Yeah, so I don't know who this old dude is. The one that we opened up with. We opened up with him and the normal-looking puppets. Like it was present day or some shit. But now he's running around in all this before time. Does that even make sense? I don't know. The whole prequel that's taking place here, and the whole big thing with prequels for me, is that we know nothing happens to Toulon. Like, we know he kills himself in the first movie. So there's no, like, stakes here. Like, we know nothing's going to happen to Andre Toulon. I can't even be sure that's Andre Toulon. They just called him Andre. I'm assuming it's Toulon. But then who's this old crazy guy running around? So many questions. If I'm guessing right, I'm guessing that the old guy is just a sorcerer who stole the spell from Egypt, and that's why he was in Cairo. And then he's going to end up giving it to Toulon. That's what I'm going to guess is going to take place here. But who knows with this series? So the henchmen that the mummies give money to kill the old dude, the sorcerer, they don't do a good job with that. They botch that hit. They just stomp him a bunch and just beat the shit out of him. He's still alive. Unless he just like dies a few minutes from now. But they didn't do a good job of killing him. I mean, they fulfilled half the deal, maybe a little more than half. They didn't kill him though. So the mummies are going to have to find better henchmen to get their plans carried out. Or Sutekh is going to be pissed. Man, you know that you're not in for a good ride when I'm yawning fucking like 25 minutes into a Puppet Master movie. But Andre Toulon, when he was young, he had one hell of set of hair, man. He had some nice blonde hair on him. So he only went down like from here into his suicide in the beginning of the first movie. We see a retro six-shooter, which again brings into question that I had in one of these videos, where the hell was six-shooter for the first movie? If he was invented before all that shit happened, where was he in the first movie? I don't think that we've ever gotten an answer to that. I don't think we're ever going to get an answer to that. If someone has an answer to that, please let me know, because it's really bothering me when I watch these movies. After the movie's over, I really couldn't give a shit. But while I'm watching it, it's really bothersome. Like, why he's missing from the first movie. Aside from the obvious reason that they just didn't think that puppet up yet, and then they put him in the second movie. But why isn't he in the first one? He's here. He's in the other prequel. So, I don't know. And, alright, so yeah. So this old dude was like a sorcerer, and he's been alive for like 3,000 years almost, and now he's dying, and this is how he's going to pass the secret of life on to Toulon. And this is who Toulon finds out the whole secret to bring his puppets alive from. Got it? Got it. That's where we're at here. So we get retro Tunneler, we get retro, it looks like Blade, but not really. Like, I don't know, it's hard to explain. And then we get like this doctor puppet that I've never seen before, so who knows who the hell he is. And then we see Pinhead. Did I mention him? If I did, here it is again. We get Pinhead retro version, and then like some other puppet that I've never seen before. So we get some new additions here that we don't even get names for. I love how this old sorcerer brings all the puppets to life to like show off that he's not full of shit. And Toulon's initial reaction isn't, holy shit, my puppets are alive, my puppets are alive. That would be my reaction. Like, why isn't it his? I don't know. Like, he just seems completely cool with it. Like, this is something he sees every day. So there was like this beggar guy that Toulon used to pass all the time, and then he discovers him dead, like on the steps. Apparently this guy didn't know you can just walk into a building to avoid the cold. And the old sorcerer guy just like tells him, let's get his body inside. And now there's a ring that has like a little pin that comes out of it. I don't know when that changes to a serum that we've seen in the past movies, that green liquid shit that they inject into the puppets. And again, it calls into question, how many times do they have to inject them with this? How come Blade we never saw got injected with this liquid? He was just running amok without being injected. So all of that, still questions remain. But he brought the guy's body in, and then he ends up poking him with the ring, and then he pokes the Pinhead retro puppet and transferred his soul into Pinhead. And I guess this is the origin story of Pinhead. It was a dead beggar on the side of the road. And that's who we put inside Pinhead. So we're getting answers, albeit stupid ones, and for questions I didn't ask for. But we're getting them here in Retro Puppet Master 1999. You're seeing this shit unfold live. Alright, so the Mademoiselle is Elsa, who was Toulon's wife. That's what I figured when they first showed her, but I didn't want to spout too much shit that I was going to end up being wrong about. But yeah, her name's Ilsa, so that's his future wife. So that makes sense, how he meets her. This is 40 minutes in, mind you, to this movie. And basically all we found out is that some old 3,000-year-old sorcerer from Cairo, Egypt, who stole the spell of life, the secret of life from Sutekh, whatever the hell his name is, found a young Andre Toulon, passed on the gift to him, and he met his wife Elsa. That's it. Like, that's all that's happened in 40 minutes. This is why I can't watch these movies, like, back to back. Like, you'll always just see one of these pop up every few days or every week or something like that, because if I had to watch two of these later installments back to back, I'd blow my brains out. And then someone would have to track me down. My friends on YouTube, they'd have to find me. They'd have to bring along an ancient Egyptian curse or secret or something like that and rejuvenate my body, reanimate me, and bring me back to life in order for me to do it all over again like a week later. Because, oh, this is boring, man. Like, it's only 12:30 a.m. Like, you guys know I don't sleep. So this is early for me, and I'm almost about to fall asleep. Like, the only thing stopping me is from constantly pausing and re-recording and on this video. Like, that's the only thing keeping me awake right now. They're in Paris, by the way. They did mention it 10 minutes ago, but still, a half hour into the movie, yeah, we're in Paris right now. I was going to say something. Fuck if I know what it was. I don't remember. Oh, yeah. See? Stupid mummies. Always got to talk in threes. It's time to kill. To kill. To kill. Like, come on, really? Like, we really needed to hear the same lines 3 times every time these mummy things say something? Ugh. The great thing about watching this series and covering this whole franchise is maybe 1 or 2 people who love the franchise of Puppet Master might discover these videos and could say, no, you were wrong about this, this, and that. For the most part, no one loves this franchise that much that I know of that is going to stumble upon these videos or this channel and say, oh, well, you were wrong about this. I'm actually encyclopedia when it comes to Puppet Master, and actually what's happening here is blah, 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 and correct all the guesses and shit that I have no idea what I'm talking about when I'm watching these movies. So watch that be the one person, though, that shows up on one of these videos and says, you know what, I am an encyclopedia on the Puppet Master franchise, and I have to point out this, this, and this. And again, these mummies are terrible henchmen for Sutekh, because if they couldn't even get the, disguise yourself command correct, they look so... they look so stupid in this. Like, this was their disguise. Just like wearing suits with top hats and just looking like zombies. If they couldn't get that right, they're not going to be able to carry out whatever other plans Sutekh has for them to do, like at all. So they failed immediately as soon as they transformed from mummies into these undead zombie-looking creatures. Now the mummy zombie dudes are just like walking in on places and trying to find the old sorcerer, and they're like using magic to like melt people's faces and like just like kill them outright. Like, see, now you guys have the privilege of clicking off this video. I can't click off a movie. Like, I just can't. I have to always see a movie through to the end. So you can get the fuck out of here, like like right now. Maybe might be 10 minutes left of the video after this. Trust me, you're not missing anything. You're not missing any witty anecdotes. You're not missing any jokes. You're not missing anything, because this is just terrible. Like, this is such a bad movie. So get out of here if you didn't already, because there's nothing left to say. So they killed the sorcerer guy, and then they continue, all praise to Sutekh. All praise to Sutekh. All praise to Sutekh. Anybody else kind of like the word magic being spelled like this? M-A-G-I-Q-U-E, like magique. I like it. I think I might start spelling magic that way. That's what I'm going to do. Also, does anyone know, when did sparkly clothing like become a must for any type of production? Whether it's a puppet show or a musical or a play, or I can tell you when it ended. It ended at the end of the 80s when hair metal died out. Like, that's when it ended. But does anyone know when that started? Because this is a long while ago, and Toulon is rocking one hell of a sparkly suit like throughout this whole movie. This is what I start thinking about when the movie sucks. The history of sparkly clothing in entertainment history. I don't know. And if you think I'm being hyperbolic with how these zombie mummies, their disguise looks, just like find the movie and just watch like a scene with them. Like, they look so non-human that I'm surprised no one yet has just screamed zombie and just started causing a fucking riot or some shit. Like, they look so dead. Like, it's not even funny. And now he's putting all the friends of his that the mummies came and twisted their souls and killed them, he's putting them into all the puppets. Cool, because we found out in one of the movies, in the third one I want to say, that the puppets are his friends and stuff. But didn't they specifically say that one of the puppets, like it was his friend who was gunned down in World War II? If you think I remember which puppet, you are fucking crazy. But one of them, they specifically say that he was gunned down in World War II. And that was his friend that was in one of the specific puppets. So I don't remember which one, but this seems to contradict like all of that. 20 minutes left in this movie, and we haven't seen a puppet do jack shit throughout this whole movie, except for like walk around. Pinhead, mostly. No puppet killing, nothing. That's the whole reason I watch these movies. None of that. We just got, like I said in the short little summary of what we got in 50-something minutes of this movie. That's it. Like, this is the whole film here. Oh, this is bad, man. Like, this is really... And yeah, that is Blade. But he looks hideous back then. Like, I love current era Blade. Like, he definitely fixed him up because he looks like a hideous monster here. Dr. Death is the doctor one. Makes sense. And Cyclops' name is Cyclops. That makes sense too. Blade is apparently a very talented tattoo artist, as he's carving some protective symbol into Toulon's arm. And then the henchmen zombie mummies show up and they just do their little death thing, which it shouldn't be hard for these guys to kill Toulon. It shouldn't be hard for them to kill anybody. All they do is just go like death and just like start killing people. And then we finally get to see the puppets do some killing. And if I don't stop now, I'm going to miss it, which God forbid I miss like 5 minutes of this movie. Even the stop motion on the puppets looks bad, man, in this movie. And they're old puppets, like they're the retro puppets. They're also very terrible at killing too at the very beginning of their lifespan here, because they do zero damage to these fucking mummy zombies. I don't know what to call them other than that, because that's what they are. So I don't know, this is just so bad. Like, this is the worst of the franchise so far for me. So 6-shooter just shoots the chandelier that's shaped like the Star of David or some shit, and it just falls onto the 3 of them, the zombie mummies, and that's what incapacitates them. And then Toulon says it's time for us to leave Paris. I mean, they're still alive. They're trying to get this thing off them. But the puppets did less of a job here than the chandelier falling down or whatever the hell that was. I don't know. And then 2 of them get up and like Sutek is talking to them telepathically or however the hell he does that. And they're just like, yeah, well, this one ain't going to make it. Like, this one's dead. We can't do anything with him. So now there's only 2 mummy zombies left. And he gives them some sort of power but says do not use it unless you absolutely must. So now they're going to try to go kill Toulon before he gets out of Paris. Now they're going to go after Ilsa because they're the 2 zombie mummies look at the picture and say, like, the one he loves. He met her twice. Like, he met her 2 times in this story. That's it. But apparently he's in love with her. And, well, we know he marries her eventually, but that's all it took was just 2, like, 10-minute meetings. And now the zombie mummies know that this is the woman that he loves, and they're going to use her to try to pull him out and try to kill Toulon, I guess. Like, we got 20 minutes left. Please, movie, just hurry up and end. This is getting real sucky, like in every way imaginable. I really want to know how the die spell that these mummy zombies use, how it works. Because they tried it on Toulon, and they had their hand going and jiggling and the screen wavy for like a good 45 seconds, and he was fine. Now they just walk into the ambassador's like house and shit to try to find Ilsa, and the clerk there, they're saying like, we need to leave a message for Ilsa, and he's like, all right, what's the message? And they just go die, and he dies in like less than 10 seconds. So I really want to know like how this spell is supposed to work. So they kidnap Ilsa and then again die. Counted 4.5 seconds this guy lasted. So maybe it's just because Toulon is now he has the secret of life so he can resist their magic. I'm going to go with that because at this point I really don't care what the explanation is. Alright, I've been waiting to blast this shit again. We've seen this in the first few movies, then it kind of didn't happen for a bit. But they're on a train now. Toulon and the puppets. and he's just walking down the aisle, and the puppets are walking in the aisle. When there's a lot of people on this train. That's like if like you had a little train of terriers just following each other in the middle of the aisle. Nobody sees these puppets moving. Nobody sees anything weird at all. No one sees these puppets walking in the aisle at all. Like, I'll never understand that. And where the hell is Dr. Death? Like, from this movie onwards. Like, for the first six movies. Why does this franchise always have the coolest looking puppets in it for, like, the smallest amount of time and then we never see him again? Mephistopheles and that lizard puppet look badass, man. And we only see them in flashbacks in two movies that last like a minute or less. We've Dr. Death here. I don't know what comes after this. Maybe we see him again, but he's not in any of the first six Puppet Masters. Why do they have the coolest puppets not on screen at all? Like, compared to the ones that we get. Like, I don't get it. Like, Dr. Death is a cool ass looking puppet. I would love to see him in the first six movies, but he's not. Like, I'm sure he'll be in one after this, but I can't even make that guess because who knows with this series? I have no idea what to expect from this going forward. We're almost over. We're almost through this. So the puppets all stab one of the mummy zombies to death, which I don't know how that works. Aren't they like immortal mummies that were brought back to life? Because when they're stabbing them, you just see like dust and shit come out of them. So I don't know how they can just stab them to death. Then Toulon pushes the other one out of the moving train through the window, and he's gone. I don't know, man. Interesting factoid here is Tunneler wasn't originally named Tunneler. He was Drill Sergeant. So I think that's the most interesting I learned watching this entire movie. See, that was Toulon at the very beginning. The old dude. Him and the old sorcerer look so similar. And that was him. And then they give a big screw you to us when I was just saying what happened to all these puppets. And he's talking to the puppets like in the same time that the beginning of the movie takes place. And he's saying, what happened to Cyclops and all the others? Well, that's a story for another time. I can't believe they just did that. Like, I really couldn't believe that those lines just came out of Toulon's mouth. Like, he should have looked at the camera and broke the fourth wall and just said, well, you're going to have to watch the next 5 movies to find out. Like, they really wrote that in there? I can't believe it. And that's it. That's the end of the movie. Man, this sucked. Like, real bad. Like, this was by far the worst watch in this whole franchise. Just nothing happened. Like, through this whole movie. Oh, this was so bad. Like, I don't even have any closing thoughts or anything. There's nothing more I can add to this that I didn't say in the last 27 minutes. This was abysmally bad. Like, on a regular movie scale of 1 to 10, like a 2.5, being generous. On, like, a full moon Puppet Master scale, it was like a 1 out of 10. Maybe. Like, maybe a 1. This sucked. So, wherever you guys are from, hope you're having a good morning, good night. Hope it's better than the one I'm having watching this shit. And I will talk to you guys soon. Take care.